Hi Aries, welcome to your reading. If you're new to the channel, I do timeless readings, which means that whenever you find this video is when you're meant to hear the messages within it. And in case you subscribe, I upload my new videos for Aries and Libra on Mondays. And for those of you who are interested, the deck that I'm using today is called the Morgan Greer Tarot. And as always, if you're interested in getting a personal reading, the link is in the description box. Oh, two cards wanted to come out there. But definitely for your overall energy, I'm getting the 10 of Wands, which tells me that right now you feel burdened. You feel like things are weighing you down. And I feel like you feel that you have a lot of responsibilities, in particular ones that have sort of been thrusted upon you. I feel like now might feel like a very unfair time, just because, you know, there's so much going on. And I think that for some of you, it might be that people are telling you, oh, you have to do this, you have to do that. But it also might be that you are, for some of you, are spreading yourself too thin. So it may be that recently you haven't been exactly the best at telling people no. And as a result, you end up with all these projects and all these things that you want to do in order to help, but it really sort of takes a toll on you just because of how much energy you have to expend on all of that. Now, moving on to the reading proper, I see a lot of Swords energy. I see the 7 of Swords, 2 of Swords, 8 of Swords, and Ace of Swords, which tells me that right now you're very much in your head. There seems to be a lot of progression going on because I see the 1 and the 2, and then I see the 7 to the 8, and then the 9 of Wands. So, and the 9 of Wands into the 10 of Wands. So I feel like a lot of the things that you're doing right now feel very module, very much like step by step, sort of like I'm imagining like a factory worker that has to do, you know, one step in the process, in the assembly process, sort of an assembly line, but like of your life. So I'm definitely getting that things and tasks that you're doing right now are going to have a big impact later along down the line. And I think what it is that you're sort of laying down the foundation for things that you really care about and things that you really want in the long run. Especially with the Star card, because the Star card to me always represents wishes, right? What you want, what you desire. And for some of you, I'm looking and there's 10 stars. Sorry, I can't count. 8 stars. And I think that number might be very relevant to you guys right now. I'm really overall getting a sense of wanting to leave an impact. I feel like you guys with this star card, because star card represents humanitarianism. So the star talks about, in the Fool's Journey, talks about an angel that is on the earth, pouring water from one flask into a pond and pouring water from another flask onto the shrubbery and the trees and all the flora around. And the reason she's doing that is it's so tired wanderers and tired travelers can have somewhere to rest and compose themselves, right? So they have water to drink from the pond and they have fruit to eat from the trees. So I think that a lot of you, especially in your career paths, want to leave an impact in the world. And a lot of you guys might be environmentalists and might be working towards sort of leaving your impact on the world. And with the Nine of Wands talks about fighting for something. So I think that you guys have a very strong sort of concept of morality here. I'm hearing that for a lot of you guys, you might be like doing some pretty big changes, like going vegan, you know, for those of you guys that resonates with. But I do feel that there's like a sense of entrapment here, because there's the Eight of Swords with the Two of Swords. The Two of Swords, notice that both of these women are blindfolded. So the Two of Swords talks about indecision. It talks about not being able to make a decision, not being able to see things clearly. Being defensive also, I'm getting just from looking at this card. And then the Eight of Swords talks about being trapped in a situation. So what I think this is definitely is that people are... This almost feels very career oriented. It feels like you're trying to follow your dreams in a way that will leave a positive, long-lasting impact on the world. And someone is telling you, no, don't do that. And there's like a very strong negative influence here, especially with the Seven of Swords, because the Seven of Swords to me is always a very negative, toxic person. A lot of times the Seven of Swords is called the lying, cheating, stealing card. So I think that what it is someone here might be very envious or jealous of you, of your power, of your ability to do things and get things done, especially with this Queen of Pentacles. Queen of Pentacles talks about Taurus, Capricorn, and Virgo. So you could be dealing with an earth sign. You might be butting heads with an earth sign, or it could be someone at your job. Maybe that you're trying to sort of move into a career path that suits your long-term dreams more, and they're like, no, we need you here. So to do that, they're sort of like telling you these things and saying like, oh no, that won't work, this, that, the other, sort of finding flaws in your logic in order to keep you there. But for those of you who this doesn't apply to in the career realm, I definitely feel that you're trying to follow your dreams, but there's something, especially people that aren't letting you, or that are blocking you, or that are making things inconvenient and all around making you feel sort of negative. I feel like somebody is sitting in your way almost, like you have to cross the last door and then there's somebody there and they're like, well, pay the toll. And then you're like, well, I didn't know there was a toll. Nobody told me. They're like, well, too bad. So come back later when you have the money or whatever. And it's like just that final obstacle that's in your way. And I feel like a lot of you guys have maybe possibly given up on this sort of dream for a while. But with the Nine of Wands, I definitely feel this reinvigoration of this dream. I feel like you guys have maybe dedicated a lot of time to something that you thought was more practical or more real, almost. Sort of like things that we've been taught to that have more merit. But now that you're sort of beginning this almost like new stage of your life where you're deciding that you want to fight for what you want to fight for, you're getting this Ace of Swords, so you're going to feel this clarity. And I feel like for a lot of you, you're going to feel lighter, like there was a weight lifted off your shoulders. And I'm looking at the sword card, and I'm noticing that on the Ace of Swords, on the left there's a red rose, and on the right there's a white rose. So it almost to me symbolizes the path of like people telling you what to do versus what you actually want to do. And it's almost like, you know, you have one element in the past and one element in the future. And for me, it feels like this white rose could be like representative of you guys slaving away at a job that doesn't fulfill you emotionally or spiritually, versus you following your own path, taking the path less traveled, and finding success and fulfillment in what you choose to do. So definitely for right now, my biggest advice for you guys is follow your dreams. So that's the key takeaway from your reading this time around. But if you enjoyed, please consider leaving a like or a comment. It really helps out the channel, and I personally really like to know if these readings resonate with you guys. But like I said before, I upload my new Aries videos on Monday, and you guys are more than welcome to look at any of the other timeless videos that I have on this channel. And with that being said, I hope to see you guys next time for your next reading.